Booker T goes, I'm coming for you, Hogan, you nigger.
And the reason why they severed all ties with Hulk Hogan is because of the audio.
Everything I'd done, my whole career, my whole life, was like it never happened.
He died on the 10-year anniversary of his racist rants being leaked online.
You hear that? That's not just static on the radio. That's the sound of Hulk Hogan tearing the roof off an empire he helped build, and now one he's hell-bent on burning to the ground. 71 years old, gone in the blink of a Thursday morning, cardiac arrest in Clearwater, Florida. But while his body gave out, something else was just getting started. 2 days after his death, the silence broke. And what spilled out wasn't tributes or nostalgia, it was venom, truth. Recordings, a collection of raw, unfiltered audio files, began circulating across X, Reddit, TikTok. Not leaked by accident, not uncovered by a journalist, but released deliberately by Hogan's own legal team, as outlined in the terms of a posthumous clause. Hogan may be dead, but his voice is louder than ever, and this time, he's not the one being exposed. He's doing the exposing. For decades, he played the company man, the golden goose, the tanned titan who smiled on cue and sold out arenas. But behind the bleached mustache and bandana, Terry Bollea was documenting everything. Late-night calls, creative meetings, private locker room conversations, not to sell, not for blackmail, but for insurance. One day, he said, the truth would matter. That day has come.
She jump size on me because I just shelled out $2-3 million for her music, and I've been trying to tell her I've done everything fucking with him day and night on the radio. I'm jackass, and he's working with me to make it work. He goes, I know you really shouldn't call her every day and do the shit I do. This Southeast driver, this black billionaire guy, Cecil, he's like basically did more for her.
The first clip to emerge was subtle. A tired, raspy voice recounting his final night at Monday Night Raw. Faces turning away, hushed voices in production trucks. The quiet realization that he'd become a liability, a relic, a problem to erase. But that was just the match opener. More files followed, sharper, angrier, Hogan detailing what he called the submission agenda, an internal culture within WWE designed to gradually erase legends from public memory.
I'm not a double standard type guy. I'm racist to a point. Yeah. You know, fucking weird. But then when it comes to nice people, you know, we are that way.
Not because they were outdated, but because they were expensive, risky, and unwilling to toe the line. The fewer appearances a veteran made, the fewer royalties owed, the less nostalgia circulating, the easier to rewrite the narrative. Hogan wasn't just accusing WWE of creative negligence. He was describing a calculated, decades-long effort to bury the very icons who built the foundation. And then came the names. In a 12-minute recording that went viral within hours, Hogan laid bare how stars like Mick Foley, Kurt Angle, Lita, and even Edge were gradually pushed aside, not for lack of relevance, but for refusing to conform to a new corporate directive. He recalled meetings in Stamford where terms like Legacy Tier 3 were assigned to icons. Translation: too expensive to spotlight, too old to resonate with the 18 to 34 demographic, not part of the present, irrelevant to the future. He remembered one meeting where a marketing executive declared, "We don't have budget for retirements. Focus on Roman, Bianca, Logan Paul." He said nothing then, but he remembered. Every word. The most damning revelation came in a tape dated 2021. Hogan claimed that WWE kept internal psychological profiles on its top stars. Not for wellness, not for safety, but to influence booking decisions. Loyalty metrics, obedience ratings, names with high creative resistance were blacklisted. Segments canceled, pushes delayed, careers terminated. In another clip, Hogan recounted the night he watched a young wrestler punished on live TV after refusing to participate in a humiliating finish. The crowd saw a botch. Hogan knew it was a hit. And then came the story that reframed everything, the one that made fans look back with dread. Saturday night's main event, July 2025, Hogan's last televised appearance. Marketed as a celebration, branded as a send-off, but according to Hogan, it was a lie. He claimed the match was scheduled last minute, the script handed to him hours before airtime, the promo cut mid-sentence. Crowd reactions artificially enhanced in post. And the real kicker? No handshake, no curtain call, just a cold walk backstage and silence. He called it a staged erasure. In the audio, Hogan said he asked Vince McMahon, Triple H, and Nick Khan for one final favor. Don't lie to me. Just tell me if this is the end. No one answered. And so, he decided to answer for them. A separate document released by his lawyers confirmed Hogan was preparing a $500 million lawsuit against WWE. The grounds? Institutional character assassination, breach of oral contract, and psychological abuse. It named names, dated incidents, quoted internal emails. One note from a 2023 creative meeting read, "Do not spotlight legacy acts unless tied to current storyline arc. No long-form tributes." Another from HR classified Hogan as brand liability. Monitor mentions he was being watched and he knew it. But what no one saw coming was that he was watching them back. As the audio library grew, fans began dissecting every second. On TikTok, clips of Hogan describing the puppet strings of creative control hit millions of views. YouTube flooded with breakdowns. Reddit exploded with timelines and receipts. Each file painted the picture of a man not just bitter, but brutally honest. And the most painful revelations weren't about him. In one chilling recording, Hogan talked about being forced to endorse creative decisions that hurt others. He named moments when he knew young talent was being sabotaged. Angles pulled, finishers altered, characters buried, not because of audience reception, but because of power games backstage. He referenced his own complicity. He stayed quiet to survive. That's on me. It became clear. This wasn't a vendetta, it was a confession. Hogan wasn't just telling the story of a broken industry, he was telling the story of how he helped break it. And still, WWE stayed silent. No press conference, no denial, not even a tribute package. Just a black and white image at the start of SmackDown. No music, no montage. As fans began to grieve differently, not a legend lost, but a whistleblower silenced, the industry started to shift. Former employees, from creative directors to production staff, began contacting Hogan's lawyers. Many claimed to have been threatened, silenced, or paid off. Some hinted at more recordings. One described the entire WWE archive system as a tool for narrative control. Another claimed Vince McMahon personally vetoed tribute packages for retired stars, deemed non-essential to forward momentum. In a posthumous interview recorded 6 months before his death, Hogan said he didn't want revenge. He wanted history corrected. "I don't care if they erase me. Just don't erase what we built, what we gave up to build it." That interview aired in full 3 nights ago. Since then, Hogan's image has split the wrestling world. Some still see the racist scandals, the ego, the manipulation. Others now see a man who tried to set the record straight when he had nothing left to lose. But there's one thing both sides agree on. These tapes changed everything. They turned Hulk Hogan from a cartoon into a cautionary tale, from a fallen hero into a fallen witness, from the voice of a generation into the voice that exposed it all. And now, every time a new legend walks the ramp for one last match, every time the lights dim and a final bell rings, fans will wonder, who's writing their ending and who's already erasing it? But even as the recordings rage through the fandom, one question lingers like smoke after an explosion. How long before the machine retaliates? Legal teams are rumored to be preparing a counter-narrative. PR firms have been spotted running damage control simulations. WWE has gone dark online. No new tweets, no interviews, nothing. Just a void, while fans wait for the next file to drop. And drop they will. Hogan's estate confirmed that 30% of the archive has yet to be released. Among them, personal calls with top executives, internal pitch meetings, and what's been labeled the Orlando File, a 3-hour conversation Hogan had in 2022 with an unnamed veteran describing the full extent of WWE's backstage political machine. As more voices join the fallout, the industry braces for a reckoning. This isn't a scandal, it's a rupture. One that reaches beyond Hogan, beyond even WWE. AEW stars are now being asked in interviews what they knew. Wrestlers, once loyal to the company, are rethinking their NDAs. Trainers, producers, and even catering staff are weighing the cost of silence. Because if Hulk Hogan, the biggest, loudest, most controversial face in pro wrestling history, chose to spend his last breath tearing down the walls of the house that made him, what does that say about the foundation underneath us all? He didn't write a memoir. He didn't go on a farewell tour. He made a time bomb. And somewhere in a legal office in Clearwater, the timer is still ticking. Terry Bollea didn't die a hero. He died an alarm bell. And the echoes of his final promo are just beginning to shake the pillars of the house Vince built.